Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy HD MMA back at it again with another video. Today, we got the comeback. Don't call it a comeback. You know what I'm saying? They thought it was out. They thought it was down. I'm coming back. I'm coming back like Johnny Sins Trust. You know what I'm saying? God, I hope Izzy wins this fight. But yeah, we are back with these picks and predictions. You already know it's the best fucking prediction MMA YouTuber, the best MMA YouTuber when it comes to predictions and picks. You already know. Look up HD MMA UFC 320 picks and predictions. You already know. Do not look up fucking UFC no chain picks. Yeah, we are back. First event of the year for the UFC 324, Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Amanda Nunes and fucking Kayla Harrison fell off the card. Who gave a fuck anyways? Do y'all see Cameron Simon fight not I said Cameron Simon. Y'all see Cameron fucking Smotherman, whatever the fuck the kid's name is, fucking faint at the weigh-ins. Yeah, what's the question? Fucking Cameron Smotherman. What Cameron Smotherman fucking fainted? Yeah, we're gonna make sure the kid's okay. All right. Yeah, I'll put a clip in right here of him falling down and shit on his face. But enough with that. That fight's off the card. So is Harrison and Nunes. I thought Nunes was gonna smoke her anyways, but we got the rest of the card, and it's a pretty good card, if I do say so myself. We got some good fights. We got some fucking bangers. Walter Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Fucking Lunis. What the fuck? Arlen Allen versus Gene Silva. It's gonna be a banger, I feel like. Fucking, Pimblett and Gaethje, that main event is gonna be a banger. O'Malley Adong is gonna be I think it's gonna be a masterclass for O'Malley. Yeah, some other pretty good fights, and it's looking up to be in a pretty exciting card to start off the year, with some good finishes. So let's get into this first fight without further ado. And there's a fucking hair on my glasses. All right, that shit's out of here. All right, starting off with this first fight, we got kicking off the early prelims. We got Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. I am going with Ty Miller on this one. I'm going with Ty Miller by a round 2 TKO. From what I've seen, he's a pretty new to the game prospect, undefeated prospect, 6-0 on his record. From what I've seen, he has pretty good boxing. He has a good jab, and he has good pop in his shots, good pop in his hands. He's very plotty. He has that, traditional boxing stance, which does make him very open to low kicks. And his movement is linear, and he doesn't really move his head off the center line that well. In a lot of his fights, he really kind of does get like pieced up in his head, pushed back by a jab a little bit. Then he starts to build into the fight and really gets his combos off and his offense off like that. His takedown defense doesn't really seem to be the best. And he, he kind of just like shells off and kind of turns his back and sort of like rolls and stuff. When it comes to the takedown defense, it's not really like that much of a sprawl game or like getting underhooks or anything like that. But he does have a good hands. That's his best strength, and his biggest strength is good pop in his shots. Yeah, I'm picking him to win this fight because Adam Fugit, he's just kind of basic everywhere. Doesn't have that really, doesn't really have like any like good like aspects to his game, good like glaring aspects that he's really like good at or really like comfortable with. He just kind of seems okay at everything, just like a 70 overall in every facet of the game kind of guy. And he does have a pretty shoddy chin. He has been chinned a lot in his fights. He got chinned in his recent fight by Islam Dulatov, who is pretty good. He's a pretty good prospect, but yeah, I think our boy Ty Miller here can pull off something similar to what Dulatov did to him, with the boxing. Put a jab on him, put the jab in his face, and then start to build into the fight with combinations, and then end up like rocking him and hurting him on the feet, and probably TKOing him on the ground with like a combination, or I'm sorry, TKOing him or hurting him, dropping him with a combination later on in the fight, and then TKOing him on the ground, like a volume sort of TKO, like Max Holloway just teeing off on him against the cage, and then Fugit sits down and just succumbs to the pressure and the pace from Miller. So yeah, I think Miller can pull that off pretty easily. I got faith in him in doing that. I do see Miller's lead leg getting chopped up with some low kicks here and there from Fugit. I think Fugit, he'll be good enough to throw some leg kicks here and there at Miller, probably try to clinch up with him, and try to like shoot on him with a takedown. I think Miller can get out of all those situations, defend all of those, and put hands on Fugit over here and finish him and put him away in the second round. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in that. Moving on to the next fight, we got Josh Hokett versus Denzel Freeman. I am going with Josh Hokett on this one. I'm going with Josh Hokett by a round 1 KO. Hokett, he's very light for the division, and he does use that speed very well. He has very fast hands for the weight class, and he overwhelms guys with his speed and with his pace and his combinations. And I think he can do that to Freeman over here, who had like one of the shittiest debuts that I can remember. Watching live, he just stood there, didn't do much, just threw like lead outside leg kicks on the guy he debuted against, whatever the fuck that guy's name was. And yeah, I think Hokett can put a pace on him, start to pressure him, and then put these fast hands he has on Freeman and put him away in the first round. Yeah, I think Hokett can do that very easily. Just crash forward into Freeman early, put hands on him, and TKO, and make it a very violent and fast fight. So yeah, I got Hokett doing that to Freeman in the first round. Not much to say about that. Moving on to the headliner of the early prelims, we got Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez. I used to fucking hate Michael Johnson, bro. Let me tell y'all something about fucking Michael Johnson. This motherfucker knocks out Poirier, fucking edges out Tony Ferguson when Tony was early in his career off the Ultimate Fighter and shit. And he fucking who else did he fucking put away that pissed me off? It might have been, I can't remember. But yeah, he did that to my two boys, and I can't fucking forgive him. Ever since I saw him do that to my two boys, to my guys, ever since I found that out, I looked through the Tapology and saw that he had a win over both my boys. I was fucking pissed, and I've been praying that he gets slimed out, that I can see him get slimed out live. And I think that boy I almost said Daniel Hernandez. Fucking 6'9" of 6'9" can slam out Michael Johnson. Yeah, I hope that fucking our boy Alexander Hernandez can do that to Michael Johnson live for my viewing pleasure. Shout out Activon. But yeah, I got Hernandez winning this fight by a second round TKO. I'm fucking notes are all fucking fucked up. Yeah, I think Hernandez. I've watched his last two fights, with the fight with Chase Hooper and the fight with Carlos Diego Ferreira, and he is very good at using his movement to draw his opponents in and then countering them with a big hard shot when they come into range with him. Since he has that sort of like stocky sort of stature to him, and he's not that really rangy. He has a good range for his height, or reach for his height, but compared to all the other guys, he's not that rangy. So he's very good at using his movement to draw people in and counter them really hard. And I think he can do that to Michael Johnson, who is very old and does rely on his boxing a lot. Even though he is very old, Johnson, he still has fast hands. And he can still put it on guys when they let him get off on them. Pause. When they let him get off on them. Pause. Whenever you let Johnson give him space and give him time to work, he can really put together some combinations on you and sort of start to like outspeed you and outwork you with his boxing combinations. And I think Hernandez can draw Johnson in, not be in Johnson's range, and not give him like the space and the time, and the space and the time to get to really build up his offense and be stifled by the speed of Johnson. And I think he can evade some of the fast boxing combinations of Johnson and counter Johnson at the end of those combinations with a big right hand or a big elbow, like he did against Hooper and Fajea. So I think Hernandez is going to be able to do that to that boy Johnson. And I think in the wrestling, Johnson doesn't really wrestle that much at all, and Hernandez, I think he can take the wrestling of Johnson either way. It's going to be a stand-up fight either any way you slice it. And I think Hernandez can game plan and have the IQ to draw Johnson in and then hit him with something big early in the I would say like in the later end of the second. He can time Johnson coming in, or time the end of the combinations of Johnson and hit him with something big, put Johnson away. Sort of maybe like a big overhand, like how fucking Emmett and Carlos Diego Ferreira did to Johnson. I think Hernandez can do something similar. And Hernandez, he's on a fucking crazy streak right now. Like a little, not a crazy streak, but a very like good streak that has some good wins on it, some crafty unks and some good prospects he has on his resume, Hernandez. And he's really starting to like mature and get into his prime, it seems, with his like physicality and stuff like that, and his IQ, Hernandez. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this Hernandez pick. Moving on, we got Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Charles Crafty Johnson. He's on a fucking Charles Johnson. He's so fucking like hard to like predict, because he has the frame for to beat anybody at like 125, and he has those fast hands, but he just like gets like has these weird decisions where he gets like kind of smudged up against and shit. But anyways, I'm going with Charles Johnson by a second round TKO. I think Perez, first off, he missed weight, which is never really a good sign for anybody. He probably had it's probably like an injury or something, or like just had a bad training camp or something like that. So Perez missed weight. I think, is this the first time he's missed weight in his career, Perez? I'm not sure. Comment in the comment below if this is the first time for Perez. But yeah, I think Charles Johnson, I think he has the skill set to put hands on Perez. Perez, he has very like short sort of stature to him, and he gets like low a lot. And just kind of like blitzes forward with these combinations on people. That's his like bread and butter, what he does in the striking. And on the ground, he's very open to submissions. His submission defense, indigestion. His submission defense is very poor. He gets caught in a lot of guillotines, which in 2026, where guillotines in MMA are like pretty much fucking useless. Getting caught in guillotines like that. If you're getting caught there often, there's something wrong with their submission defense at this level in the UFC. You should not be getting like snatched up with like standing guillotines and shit like that. That's some fucking 2008 shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but I think Charles Johnson, he has the frame advantage, the reach advantage. I think he can make Perez run into like big, powerful counter shots when he's blitzing in. And the thing about Johnson is like in his Loner Kavanaugh fight, since his like he's so much more rangy than these guys. These other flyweights, when they fight him, whenever they try to exit range and sort of like back up, since Charles Johnson's so long, he like catches these guys on like the tip of the chin when they think they're safe exiting out of range. In a lot, he did that to Loner Kavanaugh. Loner Kavanaugh, he was backing up and Charles Johnson hit him with that leaping right hook where Kavanaugh thought he was safe and backing up into the cage, and Johnson just caught him on like the tip of the chin with a right hook and flatlined him. I think he can do something similar to Alex Perez when he comes in, catch Alex Perez like how he did in the Joshua Van fight when Joshua Van was trying to blitz in on Johnson. Hit him with that. He hit Van with that long like uppercut and caught him on the chin, dropped him and finished him. And I think he can do something similar to Perez and just sort of like box him up at range too. Perez kind of has like these spurts where he like blitzes in at you, then he kind of just sits right at range and he blitzes in at you again. I think Charles Johnson can capitalize on that and put Perez away in the second round, I believe. It does take a bit of time for Johnson to sort of build into the fight. He doesn't really he's not really that active in the first round. He kind of gets in most of the first rounds in his fights, he sort of gets like pieced up and he sort of like gets dominated in the first round. Then he starts to come back later into the fight and starts to let his hands go and sort of put these guys in danger. So yeah, I'm going with Charles Johnson to win this fight by a second round KO. I think the weight cut of Perez, him missing weight, is not a good sign. It just doesn't bode well for Perez at all. You got to be on your P's and Q's when you fight a guy like Charles Johnson, who will take advantage and crafty it up. Moving on. We got Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas. I'm going with Modestas Bukauskas by a round 1 KO. This prediction is just no more than I can't trust Nikita Krylov to take a punch in the light heavyweight division. I can't trust him to take a punch. Ever since he like came back from like whatever the fuck he was doing, it just seems like he just gets caught on the chin way too often, and when he gets caught in the chin clean, he just gets put away. Like he just like a switch just turns off on him and he just fucking careens down to the canvas limp. And I think Modestas Bukauskas can do that to him. A guy who's big, has the reach advantage, has the same frame as Krylov with the reach advantage, and very aggressive like Bukauskas is, with power, with vicious ground and pound like Bukauskas does. I see when they're at striking distance, I see fucking Nikita Krylov just sort of like blitzing in or just like fucking not being defensively mindful and just getting caught on the chin by Bukauskas, like a right hook or something like that, or just maybe Bukauskas blitzes forward like he tends to do and catches Krylov with his chin up in the air or something like that and puts Krylov away. in the first round. Or maybe Karlov tries to exchange with a pocket with Bukauskas, and Bukauskas clips him. But yeah, I just see just not ending well for Nikita Krylov at all. So yeah, I'm picking got Modestas Bukauskas. Moving on, we got Atiba Gauthier versus Andre Pulyaev. Pulyaev. Yeah, Pulyaev. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going with fucking y'all already know. I'm going with Gauthier by fucking yeah, round 1 KO. Fucking lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'm not. Hold on, yo. Hold on. I'm not picking Gauthier just because he's this dangerous prospect with all this power and he has these KOs in the UFC. I got some stuff to back it up, okay? I think Pulyaev is a higher level striker than any of the guys Gauthier has fought in the UFC. But he does one thing that will cost him. He leans back with his chin up in the air every time someone throws punches at him. And he does not move his feet and step back when he does it. He just stays in place and leans back with his chin up in the air. And with a guy like Gauthier, who has a reach advantage on him and is relatively the same height, I think Gauthier is like 6'3". I don't think he's 6'4". Like Pulyaev is, but he has a similar height and a reach advantage on Pulyaev, and I think with that advantage Gauthier has and a power advantage, I don't think Pulyaev is going to be safe leaning back with his chin up in the air. I think Gauthier is going to catch him and clip him when he does that, and put him away. He's got way too much power for to be caught with your chin up in the air like that. And I think Gauthier will find that opening on Pulyaev and put Pulyaev away. So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty quick first round TKO by Gauthier. Moving on, we got the headliner of the prelims, and I don't know why the fuck this fight is on the prelims. Fucking under Valentina, not Valentina, fucking Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. But anyway, yeah, we got fucking Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo, and I am picking Umar to win this fight very boringly by unanimous decision. First off, Figgy fucking missed weight. After moving up to bantamweight, he missed weight. Which is maybe a sign of him getting old, getting slow, getting injured. Maybe he has some wear and tear that we don't know about. And shit like that, but that doesn't bode well. Just like with Alex Perez. That doesn't bode well for Figgy. And when you're fighting a Dagestani, you need to be on your fucking P's and Q's. You need to be on top of this shit. Because if you lack, he is going to fucking smudge you. And that's what I think Umar is going to do. I think he's going to make the fight boring, sort of stand at range at Figgy. I don't think he wants anything to do with Figgy on the feet. Because Figgy does have power. That's one thing he does have. Even though he hasn't really showed it off at bantamweight, he does still have power in this fist. He dropped Cheeto Bear and shit like that. So, I don't think Umar wants a taste of any of that. I think he's gonna tap at range with kicks on Figgy. Umar does have good kicks, good flexible, dexterous kicks. And I think he's just gonna try and shoot on Figgy, smudge him up against the cage, get control, get dominant position. Maybe Figgy tries to scramble, or maybe he doesn't, since we don't know what made him miss weight so bad. Maybe Figgy's just like less active on the ground. With Umnar. And yeah, I think Umnar just gonna fucking just try and maybe hunt for subs here and there, trying to do some little ground and pound on Figgy. Just try to remain in a dominant position on Figgy and just get control time, rack up little baby strikes, rack up some sub attempts, and win the fight by unanimous decision. So yeah, I'm going with Umar. Not really fucking too much to say about it. Moving on to the first fight on the main card, we got Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Look at fucking Gene Silva in this fucking fighter silhouette in this fucking stance, bro. Yeah, I'm going with Gene Silva by round 2 TKO. Here's one thing about Arnold Allen. He is pretty good, but he doesn't really use feints for his combos, and he doesn't really set them up with his entries or combos with anything. He doesn't really doesn't try to like make reads and try to feint on you and try to make an opening for him to go at you with a combo. He just trying to kind of throws like with you. He throw first and start it and just like kind of throw with you, then back up from the exchange and just reset and try to go again at you. And I see a guy like Gene Silva who has a pretty big power advantage over Arnold Allen, and dare I say a speed advantage as well over Allen. I don't see that boding well, that strategy or that fighting style boding well for Allen at all. Trying to crash forward with Gene Silva, I think it's gonna be a pretty bad decision. I think Arnold Allen's gonna get caught trying to do that with Gene Silva. Even like Movsar Evloev was landing on Allen and cutting him up and marking him up. And yeah, I think a guy like Gene Silva is gonna do you 10 times worse than what fucking Movsar Evloev can do to you. I see this fight going like that Drew Dober fight that Gene Silva had, where Drew Dober is just kind of like on the pressure and just going at Silva with combos, and then Silva's like countering him and catching him and doing all these like spinning shit and elbows and all that shit. I see that going very I see that happening in this fight a lot. Gene Silva tries to like get in the mood and tries to fucking clip farm on Allen as he like times Allen coming in with his combos. And yeah, I see Silva landing big shots with the counters, timing Allen coming in and hurting Allen and finishing Allen in the second round. As much as that pains me to say it, I really like Arnold Allen. He's a autistic king. He's a yeah, it's good. Yeah. I like I like my boy Arnold Allen, but this is not a good matchup for him at all. And yeah. And plus, Arnold Allen, he got dropped by Max Holloway at featherweight, who's not that. He does have some power, but he's not that big of a puncher. I think Gene Silva is a much bigger and faster puncher than Max Holloway at featherweight. And yeah. And this is open stance too. Maybe like kind of that I think Drew Dober was also a southpaw. Might be wrong, but I think Drew Dober is also a southpaw. Maybe I'm not remembering this right. What? Maybe not. Someone correct me. But yeah. Yeah, I see Gene Silva getting this one done over Allen. Moving on, we got Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas. She's a great fighter. She really is. She does look like a 6-year-old boy, but she is a really great fighter. Pat Barry. I'm not really that fond of the guy, but I think he's a good guy and he's doing somewhat. Yeah. I got Natalia Silva by unanimous decision. I think at this point in Rose's career, she just does not have that hunger and that fucking that drive and that instinct she had when she was younger in her career. And I think a girl like Natalia Silva, who is fairly fucking good, and I think she has a speed advantage over Rose in this fight. You can't be have that sort of lackadaisical, like fucking complacent mindset on a girl like Silva, who is pretty good. I just think Rose is just not top level in this division anymore. I think this division has matured and grown, and with like sort of like the dominant top of the division in the head in Valentina Shevchenko, the rest of the division has had time to sort of like blossom and to get new talent into it. And I think Natalia Silva is next up in this division, and she is that new talent that's gonna go on to a fight for the title and all that shit and be at the top of the division. And I think Silva, she can sort of use her movement and her footwork to give Rose problems, make sort of Rose miss with the movement and the footwork. Rose is sort of like more plotty nowadays, and she does like just sort of like throw combinations into the wind and into the air. And I think Natalia Silva can make her miss and counter Rose with her speed advantage and her movement advantage. She's not as like defensively sound as Rose, because she does sort of like stand tall and sort of stand with her chin up in the air a bit, like a lot of fucking like Brazilian fighters do that for some reason. Like I think Norma Dumont does that as well. She sort of like stands very upright with her chin up in the air. I don't see that being that big of a problem for Silva, since Rose doesn't really have that venom to her and that finishing like ability to her anymore. But I just sort of see fucking Natalia Silva like stepping in with combinations, blitzing with combinations, making Rose miss, stepping back out of range, hitting her, and circling out. And I see her doing that for the entire duration of the fight. And as for the grappling, I think Natalia Silva can defend the trips and the takedowns from Rose. Silva, she has a lot of submissions on her record, a lot of like arm bars and shit like that. I think she can throw up subs and scramble out of positions on Rose if Rose tries to take her down. So I'm going with Natalia Silva by unanimous decision. Probably maybe like a 30-27 kind of thing. Moving on, we got Waldo Cortez Acosta. I know Black ID Dominican Papi. I know Black ID Dominican Papi. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Now, this might shock y'all. This might surprise y'all, but I'm going with, hold on. Gotta fix this. There we go. I'm going with my boy Waldo Cortez Acosta. Listen, this fucking guy, this fucking mafunga eating, baseball playing, cigar smoking, cologne, whole bottle of cologne wearing motherfucker right here. This guy's, he's got some. I think he's got some, and I think he's got some that not a lot of people are giving him credit for. I saw him in the D'Elia fight pull the wind directly out of his ass, and him put fucking Shamil Gaziev do the fucking whatever the fuck, do this and shit. It made Shamil Gaziev hit one of these on the ground, and I think he's got some, and I think he can get it over Derek Lewis, who is dangerous, who does hit hard. But I think Waldo, first off, I think Waldo has the best chin at heavyweight right now. I think He's taken big shots off of every guy he's fought. He's taken shots off D'Elia. He's taken shots off Gaziev. He's taken shots off fucking Sergey Pavlovich. Took a big right hand off Pavlovich and didn't even get phased by it. So I think he can take the shots off Lewis. And I think he can dish it back on Lewis too. We've seen Lewis in his career. He's been like broken. He's been put away. He's been overwhelmed, and he's been hurt. And I think Waldo Cortez Acosta has the ability to do that to Lewis. I think he can sort of put it on Lewis with the power that he has in the hands. I think he's more accurate than Lewis. That's something Waldo Cortez Acosta does have, like sort of an underrated ability for it, is his accuracy with his punches. I think he can put his punches in the right spot on Lewis to hurt Lewis. As the fight goes on, I do think Acosta is going to be in some trouble early on in the fight, where Acosta, he does sort of like do this thing where he like backs up into the fence and sort of eggs his opponent on to hit him and sort of trade with him. And then after that exchange, he kind of like gets woken up into the fight. I do think Acosta is gonna do that and gonna wade through it and weather that storm of Lewis early on. And then once Lewis sort of like slows down and sort of gets back into range, I think Waldo Cortez Acosta is going to get waking back up and sort of try to put it on Lewis with some accurate shots, and then hurt Lewis and finish him in the first round. So yeah, I'm going with Waldo Cortez Acosta, taking the shots off Lewis, not getting phased by them, not getting too hurt by them, and putting away Lewis after sort of the big exchanges. So yeah, and I think after this fight, if he wins this, Acosta is gonna get put into a title contention with his activity and with his sort of resume of finishing guys. I think he's gonna get put into the top three, the top the top of the division for some title contention. So yeah, big things ahead for Waldo Cortez Acosta if he wins this fight. Moving on to the co-main event, and that was the featured fight. Sorry, my bad. Moving on to the co-main event, we got Sugar Sean making that comeback against Mr. Song Yadong. And I fucking know. I got Sean O'Malley in this fight by unanimous decision. I think a lot of in the build up to this card, a lot of people were sort of like speculating and sort of overanalyzing this matchup. More so on the side of Sean O'Malley's mindset going into this fight, where he's like been talking about, retirement, sprinkling some inklings of, I might go to boxing, I might if I don't win this fight, I'm gonna retire and do this, do that. Just Sean O'Malley, they've been over listening to Sean O'Malley talk about all these other things except for this fight. And yeah, I think all that is sort of like putting these seeds of like doubt into people's head and sort of doubting the skills of O'Malley, and sort of drawing the conclusion, sort of making the assumption that O'Malley's not gonna be in the right space mentally for this fight, and sort of it being like a fucking Peyton Talbot, Henry Cejudo thing, where Cejudo will have the skills to beat him, but the mindset isn't right, and the young sort of hungry up and comer in Song Yadong is going to be able to put up the fight and sort of like out hustle him and outwork him in that sort of sense. I think that's what like sort of the mindset going into the build up of this matchup has been. But if you look at it logistically and logically, if Sean O'Malley shows up, he's going to piece this little fucker up in every facet of the way. I think Sean O'Malley right now, and also sort of like the two recent losses to Marab. I think that's also playing a factor in people's minds. But if you look at this fight logically, who the fuck has Song Yadong beat? What's his most recent win? Henry Cejudo in a competitive fight. He didn't school Henry Cejudo. It was a competitive fight between the both of them, and then he fucking eye poked Cejudo, and they let the fight go to a decision after that, and some weird ass fucking shit. And you look at O'Malley's recent fights, 2 losses to Marab, who is literally the bantamweight GOAT. Who is literally the bantamweight GOAT. 2 losses to the bantamweight GOAT in a sort of wrestling grinding matchup. Who Song Yadong does not have any style similarities to. If Sean O'Malley shows up in this fight, Sean O'Malley is, first off, he's top 10 striker in the UFC. He is one of the best strikers in the UFC. With his shot selection and his speed and his accuracy, I think he can, and he has a fucking massive height and reach advantage in this fight, like he always does. I think he can exploit the sort of defenses of Song Yadong, where Yadong just chill up in that high guard. I think he can tee off on Yadong in the fucking when he throws up that high guard. I think he can pick apart that Song Yadong at range, switch stances on Yadong, and on the ground, I think in the grappling, Sean O'Malley can defend himself very well. I think he has a good guard, O'Malley. He has the ability to scramble and sort of get back up to his feet. I think he can throw up subs in the guard when collect his guard and sort of throw up subs on Yadong if Yadong tries to take it to the ground. And I think no matter which way you look at it in this fight, I think Sean O'Malley has the edge in every sort of way. I think he can piece up Yadong, make him look out of place. I think he can throw knees in the hot when Yadong throws up that high guard, get around, like throw hooks around the guard, tee off on him, sort of make fucking Song Yadong look levels below him in the striking. And I think he can fucking counter the big power shots of Yadong, because if Yadong has anything, he does have a good amount of power when he swings. I think O'Malley can counter that and defend those, sort of step out of range and see those coming, make the reads, and step out of range whenever Yadong tries to do that. The only person that's really caught Sean O'Malley on the sort of cleanly was like Petr Yan and Marab with like the pressure and shit. But Song Yadong really doesn't have the technicality and striking offense of Yan, and he doesn't have the pace of Marab. So I think O'Malley can piece him up at range, piece him up with the guard, defend all of the shots, all of the takedowns, make reads, bait out the power punches of Song Yadong, and just make him look silly on the feet. I don't think he's gonna KO Song Yadong, because Song Yadong, he is pretty tough. I think he can cut up Song Yadong and maybe get like a sort of doctor stoppage kind of thing. But as of like flatline KOing Yadong or TKOing him, I don't think that's gonna be I don't think that's a big possibility. I'm not too big on that, but I do think he's gonna piece up Song Yadong and just make him look silly out there. So yeah, I'm going with Sean O'Malley by pretty lopsided like decision, maybe like a 30-26, definitely like 29, definitely a fucking 30-27, maybe like you get a 10-8 in there for O'Malley. Moving on to the main event of the evening, we got Justin Rufus, big fucking Rufus, versus Petty fucking Pimlich, man. Let's go, Petty Pimlich. I'm going with fucking Patty Pimblage. By a third round sub. I think Petty will get it done later in the fight by a sub. I think people are my fucking dog. Jesus. I think people are sort of not giving Patty credit in this matchup, and they're kind of giving like too much credit to Gaethje. Hold on, y'all. My fucking dog is pissing me off. All right. I'm back. All right. So fucking where was I? Yeah, I think fucking people are like sort of downplaying Patty a little bit too much in this fight, especially in the striking. They're just kind of looking at him. Oh, he leaves his chin up in the air. He leaves his chin up in the air. All that shit, and they think Rufus is just his fucking like Alex Pereira level fucking powerhouse in this like technical maestro on the feet. Whereas I think the matchup is a lot closer than a lot of people are wanting to give out. I think fucking people like just kind of don't like Pimblett as much, and they're trying to just fucking write him off, which is a bit silly if you ask me. But yeah, I think in this fight, Pimblett can mix up the striking and the wrestling in this fight. I think he can do that really well against a guy like Gaethje, who is sort of like one-dimensional with his defense. Gaethje, he uses that like high tight guard a lot in his fights, and I think Paddy can exploit that and sort of make Gaethje throw up that guard and tee off on him on the feet, and if he wants to sort of get under the hips or get under the guard of Gaethje and get to the hips and take him down with that. I think Gaethje, he has good takedown defense. He has really good takedown defense, but as the fight goes on, that his ability to defend a takedown does diminish very significantly. And I think Patty can take advantage of how explosive Gaethje is with each and every takedown defense he does. Every time he defends a takedown, Gaethje is very explosive with it, and that does sort of drain him as the fight goes on. And I think Patty can use that, can exploit that, and use that to his advantage to tire him out with the wrestling and make him defend the takedowns, make him sort of like do all these backflips and crazy maneuvers to tire him out, and then as the fight goes on, start to tee off on him, start to make him sort of jittery and make him slower and tire him out as the fight goes on. And sort of like also weather the storm in the first round. I think that's something Pimblett is going to have to do against Gaethje. Sort of weather the storm, weather the damage, sort of trying to fucking not get chinned by Gaethje. Basically just not get chinned. Watch the right uppercut of Gaethje, because Gaethje has a fucking really nice right uppercut or rear uppercut. When he throws it, he drops a lot of people with it. Drop Fazee with it. Drop fucking he dropped fucking who else did he drop with it? He dropped Chandler with it. Yeah, and I think Patty's gonna have to be wary of that. But yeah, as the fight goes on, this is my prediction. As the fight goes on, I think Patty's gonna make Gaethje grapple, make Gaethje wrestle, make Gaethje defend all these takedowns, tire him out, and then as Gaethje gets more tired, starts to rely more on his defense, get more like low output. Patty's gonna take him down, be able to get him down, get down to the ground, get to work with the jits, establish like dominant position. Maybe he gets him out or takes Gaethje's back and latches up a sub on Gaethje, maybe like a rear naked or something like that on Justin Gaethje, which I think he can do. And I got Patty Pimblett with that probably like a third round rear naked, taking his back, making Gaethje tired, drawing out those big power punches, making him shell up with the high guard, teeing off on Gaethje. I think Patty Pimblett can use. I think he can use like the knees like he did against Chandler, sort of make Gaethje run into the knees with his high guard. I think Paddy Pimblett can do that in this fight as well. But yeah, those are my predictions for UFC 324. Every fight on the card: Paddy Pimblett by third round sub, Sean O'Malley by unanimous decision, Walter Cortez Acosta first round KO, Natalia Silva unanimous decision, Gene Silva second round TKO, Umar unanimous decision, Gautier first round KO, Odessis Bukauskas first round KO, Charles Johnson second round KO, Alexander Hernandez second round TKO, Hokit first round KO, and Ty Miller second round TKO. So those are all my predictions. Bet the house, you already know. Best predictor on YouTube. You don't even have to you don't even gotta think. I do the thinking for you. All right. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the fights. I'll try to do a fight companion for you guys, since where I'm at, I'm gonna be fucking getting a lot of snow and ice, and I'm pretty much gonna be fucking shelled in and encapsulated in my house. So I'm trying to get that happening. I'll try to get a fight companion for you guys, since I'm pretty much not fucking going anywhere over this weekend. I was trying to stay safe, not trying to drive on ice and shit. So yeah, I'll try to get that situated for you guys. Just try and not be lonely and just watch the fights by myself. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the fights. Hope you guys enjoy the weekend. If you're getting hit with snow over the weekend like me, hope you guys stay safe and try to drive responsibly. And yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your days. And sub up to the channel, like the video. I will be dropping an immediate reaction as soon as this card is finished. So make sure you guys hit that bell for the notification for that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace. Later.